I can record. Yes, I can record. All right. I can record. You happy now? Hello.
She's gone.
Thank you. No, I'm not going yet.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay, so I can record. That's okay. All right. Everybody happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So, you've introduced yourself. I guess you were all on call last week, right? Or if you were not on call last week, do I need to introduce myself? Hello, guys. Do I need to introduce myself?
I was on call.
I wasn't.
Yes, please. I wasn't on call.
Okay. Some of you were not on the call. Okay, right. That's fine. My name is Femi Adedoyin. I'm a senior agile project manager. I'm a delivery manager. I'm a program manager. I'm an agile coach. And I'm a SAFe certified consultant. I've worked with various organizations in the UK and outside of the UK, helping them to deliver in an agile way, supporting various pillars, various businesses, and I will say that I've gathered a little experience, if not a lot. I have a bit of experience when it comes to project management world, Scrum Master world, Agile Delivery Manager world, Program Manager, and Agile Coach, and so on and so forth. All right. So that's a little bit of me. I've worked with banks, I've worked with insurance companies, I've worked with government, HMRC, and a couple of the others. And I've also worked with supply chains, big agricultural organization, and things like that. All right. So why did I say that? I said that for you to know that project management cuts across. It's important to have domain knowledge. It's good for you to have a bit of understanding of the domain that you're going, but the application of the knowledge that you're gaining cuts across, is not limited, is limitless. All right? Application of the knowledge you're gaining is what? Is limitless. And I know that last week we spoke about project management. We spoke about delivery management. For those of you that were not there, what I want to ask you today is, based on some of the conversation we had last week, if I should ask you guys, what is project management? Or what is a project? Maybe I should leave project management. So what is a project? When we say project, many of you would say, oh, I'm involved in a project. Oh, I'm doing, what is a project? What does it mean to you? I want this to be interactive. You are not many, all right? So you should feel free to unmute yourself and be able to talk, because I want this to be practical as well, all right? What is a project? What does it mean to you when we say project?
Something that you're working on.
Something that
And
you're
in charge
working
of. Something that you're in charge of working on, one of the two.
Okay. He said something that you're working on, something that you're in charge of. Okay. Anything else?
A project can be a work activity that has a timeline, start date, end date. So you have to deliver that within that timeline. So it's not something that is endless. There's a timeline, start date, and end date. It has an activity or something, yeah.
Okay. Something that you have with a timeline that has an end date, right? You said?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Can you help me get something to cover, please? Okay. So sorry, guys. Sorry. So project, somebody said project is something you're working on. Somebody said project is something that has timeline with an end date, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I think I would say that project is a kind of a work that is temporary. It has goal and objective to achieve, possibly a product to be an end product. Yeah, it will have an end product, so to say, at the end of the duration of the job or the work.
Excuse me. Okay, an end product. Anyone else?
It could be a work that is done individually or collaboratively. That's also planned in order to achieve a particular objective. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Anybody else? Is that all?
We can say project is a set out plan with
Okay.
aims and objective, aim at achieving a set target.
All right. Okay. All right. You've all tried. We've got 5 people. So this is project, right? That you've defined. If I ask you, what is a program? What does program mean to you?
A program is a collection of a lot of projects that has objective and a goal to achieve.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Just similar to what she said, collection of projects that have scope, time frame, and yeah, end-to-end start and end date. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? What is a program?
A set of related activities that are related that set up to achieve a particular long-term objective.
A particular objective. Okay. Anyone else? Is that all? Okay. Tell me, what is portfolio? What does it mean to you when we say portfolio? What does that mean to you?
Portfolio is kind of a higher level of project, program. It's a collection of program and has a lot of projects and product that it will deliver at the end of the day with scopes and objectives at the end of the day.
Okay. Anybody else? What is portfolio?
A group of projects that are related or
Pardon?
similar in one way. A group of projects that are similar. A group of, yeah, for portfolio, yeah.
Okay, that are similar. All right, okay. Anybody else? All right. I typed this out because I want it to be that you all learn from this and you don't forget. That's the reason I typed it out. All right. You've all said you know, wonderful things, lovely things, well done. But I will tell you that when we talk of a project, some of you cut it, but not completely. When we talk of a project, we're talking of a temporary endeavor. Just as some of you said, that has a start date, it has an end date. There is a budget attached to it. There is a scope attached to a project. All right? So when we say project, what does it mean? If you look on your right, a temporary endeavor is time-bound. It's set up to do what? To create a unique product, service, or result. It is set up to achieve a planned objective. Follow processes. It's got timeline. It's got budget. There are deliverables and a product to be achieved. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
I asked a question last week. And like I said last week, I would always ask you these things because they are important. I don't want you to go out there and you want to apply for a job and they see you as a cowboy. No, I don't want you to go out there and appear like a cowboy. I want you to go out there and appear like somebody that truly understands project management, agile delivery management, you know, or name it, whatever it is, whatever role you want to apply for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
So when we talk about project, that's what we're talking about. Now, I don't know where that noise is. Please mute yourself if you are not talking. Now, when we talk of a program is a collection of related dependent projects. What did I say? A collection of related dependent projects. There is a relationship between them. That's why we call them under a program. We call them a program. They belong to the same mother. They belong to the same parents. And that helps us with easy organization. It helps us with coordination, with management, so that we can easily manage such projects or, you know, the program together. So it would help us to decrease what we call risk. And it would help us to be able to achieve economies of scale and what we call improved management. I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear, guys.
Yes.
The difference between project and program, you know, is that a program is a collection of related dependent projects. All right? Now, when we talk of portfolio, a portfolio is a collection of programs, projects, BAU, and other related work. Does this make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So if you look at it, we'll see it when we say BAU. For those of you that were available last week, we spoke about BAU and we said BAU is business as usual. Something that keeps the work running, something that you do on a daily basis. And I gave you an example last week. I said, if let's say you are in the office now and the bulbs or two bulbs just go off, or the computer, one of the computers or two computers are not turning on, maybe because the cables are bad. Is that a project?
No.
Do I need to set up a project to do that? Talk to me, guys.
No.
It's to be interactive.
No.
No.
All right. So what is that? What do you think that is? What do we call that?
That's a BAU activity.
That's a
Business
BAU.
task.
That's a what?
BAU.
Business as usual.
Thank you. That is a BA. I need this to sync, guys. That is a BAU. you would have people in the organization. Some of them they just come to repair things. They just come to fix things. You want to have a meeting in a boardroom, and you need the flip chart to work, or you need the screens to work, and they come, and maybe you need a telephone to work effectively. The people that will carry that out are people that are into the operational work, or that are doing BAU, business as usual work. Now, if I want to move, let's say we're now in number 50. We want to move, our office from number 50 to number 55. All right? We need to move the desk. We need to move everything. We're going to number 55. Is that a BAU or is that a project?
It's a project.
It's a project.
Okay, now I see that most of you didn't forget what I taught you last week. So I'm happy with that. It's a project. For those of you that were not here last week, please, I'm asking those that were not here last week, why is it a project? Please, if you are here last week, don't talk. If you're on the call last week, don't talk yet.
I think it's a project because it involves logistics. You have to move items from one place to the other, and it involves cost. It involves moving items from places to places.
Okay, so because it involves logistics, that's why you think it's a project. Good, thank you. Anybody else?
It's a project because once the movement of the office items are moved to the new place, it ends. So it has a timeline and an end date. You might have to get resource to accomplish that. So, but after it's moved, that's it. So
okay, good. It's a project because the moment you see, for such a project, guys, for such a thing you are moving, it must have a timeline. Isn't it? For such a thing, we would have a budget. Listen, I am telling you now, this was one of the questions that one of my colleagues asked somebody in an interview question. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
We invited a guy for an interview and he came, and one of my colleagues just asked him. I was part of the board of the people that are doing the interview. And he asked, what is this? Is this, what do you call something like this? And what do you call this? And the guy has no clue. And guys, I'll be honest, I was ashamed. You know why I was ashamed? Because he was a black guy. So he didn't know what it means to have what we call BAU. He didn't know what it means to have a project in the definition of real life scenario. He understands it by theory, but not by practice, not by the practical. And that's why I don't want you to understand it by theory. I want you to understand it by practical. Does this make sense?
Yes.
In a software environment, we can have the same program. We can have a program that will be delivering various things, but you would have various projects within it, especially if you work in an IT world. I work in IT. All right? Now, the example that I can give you that will really help all of you a lot is building. When you want to build a house, let's consider a house as a program. How many projects can you have within a house, guys? You want to build a house. Or is that a project?
Yeah, it's a project.
Yes, it is the project.
It's just a project.
No, it's a project.
More than a project.
It's
Because
just
there
a
are
project.
different, it's more than a project.
There are
Thank you.
segments involved.
There are several
Related dependent projects.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I want all of you to get that. That's the word. That's the phrase. there are different related dependent projects. Can we unpack that? Do you want us to unpack that, guys?
Yes, please.
Yes.
What does she mean? What did she mean by dependent related projects? I don't know where you live. For those of you that live in Nigeria, for those of you that live in the UK or wherever you live, you will know that in Nigeria, house number 5 and house number 6 are not going to be the same, except you are friends and you choose to just have the same plan. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So, do you want to enforce the plumbing of number 5 on number 6?
No.
Do you want to enforce the electrical work of number 5 on number 6?
No.
Do you want to enforce the garden of number 5 on number 6?
No.
Now, you can see that within a house, all right, you would have people that will do the windows. There are some people that their own job, especially in the UK, we have people that all they do is demolition. If you buy a structure now and you want to build it up into something else, their job is just to come to demolish. And we have people that all they do is just foundation. They do the work of foundation and that's it. They are gone. And then we have people that will lay the bricks.
Yeah.
And we have some people that rather than bricks, what other ways do we build in the UK? Is it just bricks only we use?
No,
No.
we do traditional and what's it called now? I remember the name that they use frame. It's called traditional and that they don't use blocks. The external is blocks and then the internal will be made by they will divide it by using boards. Thank you.
Okay. So you could
Oh.
find in some places,
Okay.
if you go to some hotels, if you go to some other structures, you find that they use loads of metals, rods, irons, because they want it to be solid. And you find in little houses you find some houses are just bricks. Some they use blocks now. But in Nigeria, it's the same, right? Correct? So within the same house that I want to build, I would employ bricklayers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I would employ plumber. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would employ electrician. Is that correct?
Yes.
I
Yes.
would need to employ decorators. I would need to employ the people that would do the windows. I would need the people that would do the doors. I would need to employ people that would do the roofing. In Nigeria, there is something they do, they call it POP, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would need to employ them. Now, let me ask you, do you want your bricklayer to be the one that will do your cabling? That will do your
No.
electricity?
Hey,
No.
no way.
No, maybe you want your bricklayer to be the plumber in your house.
No. He
Or you
doesn't
want
that
your-
advertise.
Or you want your electrician to be the one that will do the flooring or lay your blocks.
No.
There will be trouble. That's the reason we have different expertise. We have different people working on the same thing. They are interrelated. Why are they interrelated, guys? They are interrelated because they have something that we call dependencies. What did I call it, guys?
Dependency.
Does anybody know what that means?
Yes.
What does it mean when we talk about dependency?
Dependency means that a particular work is dependent on another to be completed. It
Okay,
cannot just be completed on its own without the other one.
fantastic. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but it's not just one that we have. Let me help you. We have what we call S to, let me just say S to S, all right? No, or I'll just make it S to S, all right? Can you see that?
Yes.
Can you see that, everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will explain that later, all right?
Okay.
Okay, do you guys know what this means?
I have no clue.
This means start
Mm.
to start.
Mhm.
This means finish
Start.
to
Start to finish.
finish.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Start to finish.
That's SF, right?
Yeah, start to finish.
That's start to finish. FF means
Finish to finish.
Finish to finish.
to finish. And FS means finish
Finish to
to
start.
start. I don't want you to forget this, guys. When we talk about dependencies, these are what we're talking about when we talk about dependencies. All right? So, and in dependencies, what are we saying? Who can explain start to start for me? Anybody? Based on what we've discussed now, based on what I've just said to you now.
So you have to start one in order to start the other.
Fantastic. Which means if I don't start this particular one, I cannot start this other one. I want all of you to think through things like that for me, that you will give me as an example, because I need examples from you. Now, the other one says, except I start this, I cannot finish this. Your example doesn't have to be building. It could be cake. It could be cooking at home. It could be, I just want an example that will drive this home for all of you. Then we have something that is called finish to finish. What does that mean? If you don't finish this, you cannot finish that. And you have another one that is called finish to start. So you have the start to start, you have the start to finish, you have the finish to start. So I'm going to cut this. Let's say we have, let's say start to start, start to finish, then I'll put this here, okay? All right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you all think of an example that you can give me? I want this to be interactive. You don't need to tell me now if you don't know it, but at the end of this class, you all have to give me an example. Are we clear?
Yes.
I need you to think out of the box, okay? All right? What I've just explained to you now is what we call dependency mapping. And there are different types of dependencies. You can never be a good delivery manager or a good agile project manager without you understanding what we call dependencies. So in the example that we've given now, can you see how these things work together? We have talked about program. In a program, there are dependencies, interrelated projects that are dependent on one before you can do the other one. And if you think about that in your house, for those of you that are into building, that are into structural development, for those of you that are into cooking, for those of you that are into so many things that we do in life, I'm sure you can give me good examples of dependencies. I will not forget that. We're coming back to it. Is that okay? So if anybody should ask you now, the difference between project, program, and portfolio, I want to believe you should be able to articulate that. Is it clear to everyone, or do you need me to repeat myself, guys?
It's clear.
This is clear. Some of you are not talking. So I'm going to take it that everybody is happy.
Yes, yes, sir.
Fantastic. All right. So if we then, let's now talk about, we've talked about program. All right. Now, there is something from program, you would hear people say PMO, PMO. What does it mean? Do you know what that means?
Project manager, officer.
Officer.
Okay. It can
Project
be,
management officer.
it can be, okay, I wanted to get it right today. PMO, when you hear it, it can be project management office, not project manager office. Project management office. It can be program management office, and it can be portfolio management office. What did I say?
It can be project management office, can be program management office, it can be
Portfolio management office.
management office.
Now, the most popular of it is the program management office and the portfolio management office. Because portfolio management office is up there, many times we don't really bother with it. We deal with the program management office because it's in the middle layer. You have the team level, you have the higher middle layer, and you have the top management layer at the very top. We will go into all of that. And that's the reason you see the topic that we have that I put here, governance. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the reason governance is important. And we will delve into it as much as we can cover it today. Now, when we talk of PMO, what does it mean to you? We said it's a program management office. There is something I need you to know. I'm sure you've heard some people, if you have been in project management world, you will hear people say, oh, I'm a PMO, I'm a PMO. Have you heard that before, right?
Yes. Yes.
It is wrong for anybody to say I'm a PMO. Why do you think it's wrong?
Because it's an office, not a person.
Not a
Thank you. Because PMO is an office. It is not a title. So when people come for interview and they say, oh, I'm a PMO, I say to them, you are not a PMO. You are not an office. You can be a PMO analyst. What did I call it?
PMO analyst.
So those of you that are doing this training with me, you can be qualified to be a PMO analyst. You can be qualified to be an agile project manager. You can be qualified to be a delivery manager. Does this make sense? A PMO analyst is somebody that is good with administration. You love administrative work. You love paperwork. Like, you know, ladies are better at this than men. Because ladies are better organized, either we like it or not. Am I correct? Right?
Yes.
Yes.
So you find many ladies, when it comes to paperwork, they can sit down, they can be meticulous about it, and there are some guys that are like that as well. There are guys that all they want is all the paperwork. They love paperwork. They can't really face people. They don't want to face people to be defending budget, to be defending this, but they can do paperwork. Those ones will do well as PMO analysts. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
So you are not a PMO, you are a PMO analyst. So we have what we call PMO, which is Program Management Office. We usually set it up to coordinate the management of related projects so that we can achieve specific business benefits that will support the enterprise or the organizational strategic business goal. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Have I spoken too many grammar? If I'm too fast, tell me.
Please, can you just, it's too fast, sir. Can you just relate it, sir?
Okay, I'll say that again, all right? I said, when we say PMO, it is a program management office. It is usually set up to coordinate the management of the related projects that I was telling you about earlier. And why? The reason we do that is because we want to make sure that we achieve a specific business benefit that will support the enterprise or the organization business strategic goals. Every business, every organization has a business strategic goals. They have something that they want to achieve. There is a reason why you want to build a house. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a reason why you want to build a house. It's either you want to build it for commercial purposes or you want to build it for your family to live in. Or you want to build it as a charity. There must be a purpose for it. For that house not to crumble, I'm sure those of you that are in Nigeria, you have heard, even in the UK or in India, you've heard of structures that they are working on and structures just fell down and many people lost their lives. You've heard of that, right?
Yes.
Do you know why that is the case?
Poor foundation.
Yes, that's one. Any other one?
Not following due process.
Not following due process? Yes. Any other one? Thank you.
Lack of planning.
Lack of planning? Okay.
Poor compliance to maybe building standards.
Okay. So I love all the things that you've said. All right. Maybe bad foundation, maybe non-compliance. Now, I gave you an example of a building. You realize that in a building, you have electrician, you have plumber, you have bricklayers, you have people that will do some other things, all right?
Mm-hmm.
If you leave the bricklayers to just do their own work the way they like it, and you leave electrician to say they understand their project, let them just do it the way they like it, and you leave the plumbers to do what they like, the people that will do windows, what do you think may happen?
They might cut corners.
Apart from cutting corners, what else might happen?
Could you
What else
please
do you think might
rephrase the
happen?
question?
Pardon?
Could you please rephrase the question? I didn't really get it.
The question is this. If I want to build a house, all right? And I just said, you know what? The bricklayers know what to do. Let me leave them. They are bricklayers. Plumbers know what to do. Let them just do what they like. And I leave the electrician to do what they like. Because don't forget, those are various projects on their own. For bricklayers, they would have their own manager that will manage bricklaying, that will be able to be correcting them. For electrician, they must have a manager that is watching over what they are doing as electrician. Is that correct?
Yes.
But because they have managers, if I leave all of them to just do it the way they feel they should do it, what do you think may happen?
Okay, there won't be a thorough supervision to get an integrated project.
Fantastic. I love that word. Integrated work, integrated program. You see, there are various projects now that we've spoken about. Each of those projects in a house have got to integrate together properly. And that is the problem with many structures that you see that are pulling down. The knowledge, the skills you are learning here is not just for you to work for somebody. It's something that can apply in your own life as well. Does this make sense, guys?
Yes.
All right. So if I leave the bricklayers to lay the bricks the way they like, they will do it the way they like. Electricians will do this the way they like. Plumbers will do it the way they like. But if I have a program manager and I have a program management office, the program management office will look at everything together. We'll look at the integration together. The program manager will not allow them to use fake cables. because the project manager and his team might think, oh, you know what? Let's use this cable for them. We don't have 2.2. Let's just use 2.0, Jerry. It will work. But if there is a program manager, what do you think would happen?
They'll have to stick to the standards or what's
The
expected.
program manager will let them know, guys, and that is why we have what is called business case. What did I call it?
Business case.
Business case.
What did I call it, guys?
Business
Business
case.
case.
So in whatever project you have been assigned to, the first thing you want to know now, guys, is you must work on the business case. This is critical for us. What is a business case? What is a business case?
No idea.
Okay, I'll give that to you as a whole.
Justifying why you want to embark on the project, I think.
Is what?
Justifying why you want to embark on the project.
Yes. But I want all of you to study about it and know what business case is. And tell me the difference between a business case and a project charter.
Okay.
What did I call it?
The project chart.
You tell me, I need you to tell me what's the difference between a business case and a project charter. I'm not going to forget your homework. Don't think I'll forget it.
No worries.
All right. You have two of them now. You have dependencies. Now you have business case and project charter. What does it mean? So this is why for every program, we need to have what we call a justifiable business case. Within that business case, it helps the program manager to be able to say, you know what, this property, Mr. Johnson wants to live in this home with his family. And he has told us the quality of things that he wants. He wants this and this and this to be built with stones. He wants this and this and this to be built with loads of cement. If you leave bricklayers to do their stuff, guys, you move into the house and the following month or 3 months after, especially in a place like Nigeria, the house will start to crack. Because everybody thinks they're smarter than everyone else, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So where they're supposed to use 10 bags of cement, they will take the money of the 10 bags from you. They will use 2 bags. And they will come back to tell you that it's not, the 10 bags is not enough, sir. But you wouldn't know that they've only used 2 bags. What a shame. That's why you need a program manager. And within the program management office, don't forget what I said. What are we going to look into? The program management office will look into activities within the project that are related. They would ensure that their aims and objectives align with the organization strategic goals. But beyond that, there are few things that they do. They support the program to achieve the objectives by doing what? By analyzing the data, by looking into, okay, this and these are the things that we've written that we want to do. They want to make sure that they consolidate the assets. They want to make sure that they distribute communication, report, and everything, the health of the project come together as one and program. They are the ones that will make sure that standards of process is established so that whatever it is that you're doing, the integration does not cause problem later. Now, let me ask you, you want to build a house and the bricklayers have not started their work. Is it possible for an electrician to say, these people are delaying me. I'll just run my cable, Jerry. Once I run my cable, it's their own problem. Let them come and lay their blocks. Is that possible?
No.
Is it possible for the person that is doing the windows to come and put his windows?
No.
No. So if these are some of the things that we need to know, and the quality of those things we also need to know. For example, it depends on the size of windows that we want. If the specification is that the window should be a big size, and the bricklayers now went ahead to now create a small size of a window, the window person has gone to create big size. Where would they fit it into?
Okay.
That's why it's important for us to have data to understand what it is. So when you start your work, your job as a delivery manager, as an agile project manager, it is important for you to understand some of the things that you are going to be doing. And that's why when I was teaching you last week, I spoke about these triple constraints. You remember we spoke about time, we spoke about cost, we spoke about cost. And what do we have in the middle of it all?
Quality.
Quality. Those triple constraints, though you have limited budget, you have timeline that is restricted, you also have scope of work, you want to ensure as a project manager, as a delivery manager, that you deliver quality within it, so that whatever your team builds does not collapse the following day. Are we clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and that's where in the position of governance, this is where we now start to look into how do we run these projects to make sure that things don't go wrong. That's where governance comes in. What did I say?
Governance. That's where governance comes
To
in.
ensure things don't go wrong.
Governance is what gives us framework of what we're following. Governance is what tells us, okay, guys, these are the policies that will guide the way you will deliver things for us. Oh, governance is what will let us know the type of reports that we want. Governance is what will help us to maintain quality across board, but not only that, governance is what will tell you who is responsible for what. So in governance, I need to know who is who. I need to know who is the project manager that is managing the bricklaying. I need to know who is the project manager that is managing the window fitting. I need to know who is the project manager that is managing the roofing of the property, the electrical work, the plumbing, the flooring. Or the plastering. I need to know. Why? Because those are the people that I will hold responsible. They have to give account. They are accountable. They are accountable for whatever it is that is happening within their projects.
Sonia is winning us.
Pardon?
Sorry.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So they are the ones that would come to say, this is how my project is doing. Why, guys? Because all of those projects have budgets. To lay the bricks, we have budgets attached to it. For the windows, we have budgets attached to it. For plumbing, we have budget attached to it. So we need to know how are they doing. And that's why you guys are here now. So the first thing we want to do, apart from, don't forget, we've learned this, we need to know who is who within this organization. Who is who within the organization? Do you know who is who? Do you know who your program manager is? Guys?
Yes.
do you know who your sponsor is?
Yes.
Are you aware of all of those, guys?
Yep.
Who do you report to? Who reports to you? These are part of the things that you need to know. So the first thing we want to do is to build what we call the organochart. And you would all do this for me. You can't escape it. All right? Is it getting too much?
No.
Yes, you have to know we are adult education, so hope you know how much. So you know how much assignments you're giving to us.
Getting tired. Adult education.
If it's getting too much, let me know. Don't worry. I try to step it down for you. All right?
Okay.
At the start of your project, you all need to be assigned to projects now in order for you to get your hands dirty. The organochart that I'm talking about is something you all have to work on together.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to try to give you, like, you know, an example of what you can do to help yourself, so that you will know when we talk of organochart, when we talk, can you see this thing here?
Hierarchy. Yeah.
Yes, hierarchy.
When we talk of organochart, that's what we're talking about. Who is above who? Who makes the call? Who reports to who?
Yeah,
This is just an example. All right? I just want to give you an example. I'm not saying that's the way you must do it, but you need to find out, how does it run in this organization? Because for every organization you go, you must know how it works. Am I helping you? Or you think it's butter and bread you want?
No, a little bit of
Sorry, you won't get butter and bread from me. All right?
It's okay.
We'll find it,
We are used to aggregate and it's okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at this, if it doesn't give you what you want, look at the hierarchy there. Can you see? Maybe at the top here, maybe you have your sponsor. I'm just giving you an example. All right? Maybe right here, maybe you have your director, business. Maybe here you have your director, management. Now, management and business are two different things. There are people that they focus on the business. There are people that they focus on management, which is the running, day-to-day running of the organization. Does this make sense?
Yes.
But now, under the business director, maybe here you might find, I'm just giving you an example, okay? Here you might find product owners. You might find product owners, right? I'm just giving you an example, all right? It depends on what product. You might have different products that you guys are working on. Maybe product owner, give me any product, jollof rice. All right? And then you have product owner.
Good meat.
Pardon?
Assorted meat.
Product. Now they are coming alive.
Sorry, can I take you back one step, please?
Please do.
You know, when you went on your, are you using PowerPoint or Word?
I'm using PowerPoint.
Right, okay, PowerPoint, okay.
Yes, I'm using PowerPoint.
Okay, that's so. Thank you.
Somebody said product owner assorted. Okay, whatever you.
Assorted meat.
Whatever. So here You could have, maybe this is where you have your delivery manager.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And then under your delivery manager, or let's say delivery manager / agile project manager. Now, under your product owner, you may have your business analyst. Under your delivery manager, you may have your scrum master and so on and so forth. But we need to know who is who within the organization. I've given you an example now. Don't tell me, we didn't know what he asked us to do. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's can I shout loud now? Because I'm on my PowerPoint now. I'm trying to see where you got the shapes. I saw it, but I think I blinked and I didn't.
You don't need to. You don't need to use like my own composite.
No, this is easier than using the process. This is easier.
Okay, all you just need to do. No problem. All you need to do is go to draw. Can you see? Sorry.
Okay.
No, not draw. Insert. I meant insert. Could you see?
Okay, insert. Yeah.
If you go to insert, then you come here. Can you see smart art?
Okay, smart art. Now yeah.
Could you see the smart art? If you within the smart art, within the 3 modules, within the chart,
hierarchy, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Can you see that? Yes. You can find relationship.
I've seen it. I've gotten
it. You can find pyramid. You can find whatever it is. All right. Is that clear?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very clear. Thank you very much.
So you need to meet with Deji. You need to meet with Shayo. All right? You need to meet with them. You need to know who is who within the organization. Are we together?
Yes.
Because our governance needs to be in place. It is after you understand that, then I'm going to take you to the point where we would then be able to put the rules. We need to know what sort of reports are we supposed to be doing. Because you would have reports that you are given on a weekly basis or sprint per sprint basis. To say, then you would also be able to say, okay, these are the number of people that I have in my project. I have a business analyst, I have a developer, I have this. This is how much they cost me per day. We need to be able to give reports to know how much you've spent, how much you have left. But who are you reporting to if you don't understand this? Does this make sense, guys?
Yes.
That's so much. Yes.
I know you said it's adult education. Yes. It's got to be adult education. And I'm trying not to rush it. If I'm rushing it too much, just tell me, Femi, you are going too fast.
It's okay.
All right? So don't forget, today, you all know the difference between projects, program, and portfolio now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know now that for us to have a program, indeed, it is that we have interrelated dependent projects, the related dependent projects. And for us to talk about that, we need to understand what dependency is all about. And that's what took us to start to finish, finish to finish, finish to start, and finish to finish. And you have a homework to come back to tell me. In fact, maybe I should stop 10 minutes before time, so you can all tell me what you've thought about, or you haven't thought about it.
I know start to start.
Okay. So now, if we talk about after then, we've spoken about business case today, and we've spoken about project charter. And I said, I want you to define business case for me, and I want you to tell me what is project charter. And then we need to now build a business case. And we need to have, I'm not going to talk about that until you've come back to me with answers. Then on the governance structure as well, we need to then have who is who within this organization.
Okay.
When we understand who is who, it helps us to know, where do I sit? Who do I listen? Let me be honest with you guys. I know many guys that have lost their jobs because they don't know who is who. There is what we call stakeholder management. What did I call it?
Stakeholder management.
Stakeholder management is critical in any job you're doing. Be you a scrum master, delivery manager, whatever it is, if you don't know who your stakeholders are, or if you don't know, hey, you can lose your job the following day.
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to know who takes the shot, who calls the shot. And you need to know their level of power. You need to know their level of power. There are people that have high influence and they have high power. You don't want to offend people like that. No matter how short, no matter how tall, no matter how dark, no matter how bright they are, you must be sure you are in their good books. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think I've covered a lot. I need to take it easy with you guys, right? So you don't.
Yeah, right? You don't overload.
Okay. All right. Let's stop it here today. Then I want you to ask me your question. Ask me your questions, guys.
Happening.
Hiya.
Okay. My question is not necessarily related to this particular governance. This is just related to EDM and APM generally, if that's fine.
Please go for it.
Okay. Can you give me an end-to-end journey of a project you've been on? You say you've worked in the financial services sector. Let's say you're implementing a new HR software or something. Can you tell me how your deliverables are from start to finish? The kind of things that you've had to do to deliver that particular, let's say, new HR system, you know?
Okay. That's a good question, but it's not something you can get in one day. All right? And why did I say that? Different organizations have different ways of working. And that's why it's good to meet somebody that is seasoned to be able to mentor or teach you. For those of you that live in the UK, you know Barclays, right?
Yes.
Some of you bank with Barclays, right?
Yeah.
I used to be the technical delivery manager for Barclays Mobile Banking. That app that you use, I used to be the technical delivery manager for it. Now, what I was doing that time was not the same that I was doing when I moved to HSBC. Does that make sense? What I was doing when I moved from HSBC to Lloyds Bank was a different thing. Now, the process is the same. It may look the same, but the products are not the same. For example, I was working on mobile banking app when I was with Barclays. But when I moved to HSBC, I started to work on API integration, where we talk of SAPI, PAPI, HIAPI. And most of those things might be a little bit technical. But my role as a delivery manager, one, is to see the coordination of everything that is going live. I plan it from the beginning. I plan the resource. When I get there, the project, most times, guys, most times, project that you are going to join would have started before you join. Most times. In few cases, they will be at the beginning, but most of the times they would have been running before you would join them. When you join, what you want to do first is to catch up, to get to know the product they are working on. And then you take over from the person that will be leaving. We call it KT session. You get what we call KT session. Do you know what that means?
No.
No.
Knowledge transfer.
Knowledge transfer. You get knowledge transfer from the person that is leaving. You don't jump like scouts. You don't get to walk one and try to say, what are we doing? No. You want to calm down. You want to understand what they are doing first. They will give you some time, 2, 3, 4 weeks, to make sure that you understand the way they operate. Because, see, a guy ran to me a while ago, some years back. He was one of the business analysts that I trained, I mentored him. And I wasn't the one that started training him. It was after he failed that he came to me for me to help him and train him. Does that make sense? He got trained in an organization, and because, they just do the porous, and he went, he applied, they helped him with CV, and the CV looked good. He went, he passed the interview, and he got there, and lo and behold, he went on the board, and he was trying to do theory as a business analyst. And the boss, the director of the program, just came into the meeting because they have deadline. And he was particular about them delivering what they were, and he just sat down, and immediately everybody saw him. Some other people sat down because in our environment, you don't really know who is who, and people don't wear agbada for you to know that that's the director or whatever. Everybody comes simply, in a very simple way. Does that make sense? So the directors just ask, okay, guys, when are we starting the meeting? Because this guy was on the board trying to, in business analysis, we have what we call, business case. We have what we call process mapping. It was doing theory rather than sitting down to watch and learn what they were doing. Guess what the director said?
You are fired.
No, he just asked. He said, guys, can we start the meeting? And who is this clown by the board?
Oh my God.
How do you need help? Please,
Do you hear that? He said, and who is this clown by the board? And they said, oh, that's the new business analyst that we hired. And said, please, can you walk him out?
Jeez.
That was his first day and his last day in that organization. He was so devastated. Yeah. He was crying. That's when he ran to someone and they now referred him to me, that he should come and talk to me. Does that make sense? Yes. Now, it's important. The question you've asked is a good question, but it's not something you can achieve in a day. That's what I'm trying to say. So, because process from one organization to the other is different, and you've got to learn, you've got to know how they operate. When I left Lloyd's, it's not the same. What Lloyd's does is not what you will find Metro Bank doing. They're different because I was working on various different products. Does this make sense? So you get there, you want to learn things first, then your routine now comes in from what you have gotten from the person that is there. If that person is the one planning the resource, then you know you have to take over how you get resources onto the team. How much would they cost? If the person there sees that they have their daily stand-up, then you take that over. You begin to be the one that will now make sure you set up the meeting, because different organizations operate differently. But if you are a lead delivery manager, then you would have Scrum Masters working under you. And then what you want to do is to coordinate what everybody is doing overall as a program. But we get into details of that as we go on. If we start that now, we wouldn't finish it. For the next 5 hours, I'll be telling you what I'm working on. Okay?
All right.
Is that
That's
helpful?
fine. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? When we say RACI, what does it mean?
It's an acronym for risk, assumptions.
Okay.
Responsibility.
No.
It's responsible.
Good.
Responsible.
Responsible. Uh-huh.
Accountable.
Accountable. Mhm.
Consulted and informed.
Informed.
Who must you contact? Who should you contact? Who must you inform? All right? Does that make sense, guys? Let me.
Yes.
Pardon?
Consulted.
Consulted or contact, whichever. But I want to cancel that. And I want you to go and
Who is
look more.
responsible? Who is responsible? Who is accountable?
When we talk of that, that's the reason we're doing this. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you need to know who is responsible for something. Who is accountable? Who is it that you must consult this person or you must contact this person before you make this decision? And who are the people that you must inform? It's important that we know that. I think I've given you too much information today, right? So let's call it a day. Don't forget what I've asked you to do. Please make sure you do it. Because when we meet on Thursday, if I'm able to meet with you on Thursday, what I'll be expecting is for you to come back to me with answers.
So do we have specific days for our classes? Do we have Tuesdays and Thursdays? Is that permanent?
Yes, for now, so that you can catch up. I want you to catch up as much as possible.
Okay.
Once you've been able to stabilize, then I can reduce it to 1 day a week for you.
Oh, really?
I just feel that there's so much you need to quickly grasp. Once you grasp that, if you think it's too much for you, that's fine. I can reduce it to 1 day. All right?
No, I think at this point, it's better you do it 2 days.
This is
when our holidays, when the school starts, it will be too much. Yeah, it's better we do it now.
2 days is okay.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Fine.
Yeah.
8 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah.
So I'll catch up with you. Right? Is that okay?
Yes.
Wonderful class. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
One question. When will this video be released?
Sorry. Can you
I think
say that
someone is
again?
asking when the video will be released. Somehow the voice.
Yeah, as soon as the video is ready, I'm going to share it with Olawumi, and Olawumi should get it across to you guys. Okay?
Okay.
We that are in advance, how do we get it? Maybe from YouTube, possibly. Olawumi had to tell us.
Olawumi is our satellite, so we will make sure we have it.
We'll just hurry.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. Whatever you need, you'll get it. Okay?
We do the solution.
But make sure you do my work, guys. Make sure you do my work.
Noted.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just a quick recap. The assignment is dependencies, examples of dependencies, difference between business case and project chart.
What is a business case?
Organo chart.
Yes, your organo chart. This organo chart, you all have to work on it together.
Oh, okay, group work.
But for the organo chart, I don't think we are going to finish it before Thursday because we really
You
need to know.
start it. You have to start it.
Okay, we have to start it because there are informations we may not have for now. That's
Yes,
why
you
I'm
have
saying
to
that.
start it. And listen, let me tell you this, guys. You must look for the information. You must chase them. If you chase Deji, make sure you worry him.
Okay.
Anybody you need information from, make sure you run after them until you get what you need. If not,
That is stakeholder management.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you have to bribe them with a cup of coffee, make sure you do so.
Yeah, virtually.
Yes, virtual coffee. If you have to
to
bribe them with virtual coffee, make sure you do so. Don't come back to me with excuses. Huh?
No, not come back. Because I used to advise people to hold a Scrum Master responsible for everything. So this time we are going to go to him, to her.
The stakeholder.
We have to suffer it.
All right, guys, take care. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.